All right, so now we're going to graph the rest of these examples. So let's just say we're going to do 1/2 x squared, and we're going to do inside the parentheses 4x squared, and then inside the parentheses 1/4 x squared. So if you remember our parent function, the table for our parent function will look something like this. For our parent function, we would have -4, or actually would be -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2, which would be 4, 1, 0, 1, and 4. Now I'm just going to create the other tables right here next to it just to make it easier. So let's just say we're going with 1/2 x squared. So we already did part of the work here. This is our x squared right here. So all we have to do is take half of that. So 4 divided by 2 would be 2. And now let's say 1 times 1/2 is just the same thing, 1/2. Then 1/2 times 0 would be 0. 1 times 1/2 is again 1/2. And then 4 times 1/2, which is 4 divided by 2, would be 2. So now if we're going to go ahead and graph this, going back here, and I'm going to change the color again. And I'm going to try to make it a little bit more visible. But let's say we're going to go -2 and 2. And -1 and 1/2 would be somewhere around here. And then 0 and 0, 1 and 1/2, and 2 and 2. So if you notice, now our graph got a little bit shorter, but it got a little bit longer on the sides. So we're just going to continue to do the same thing. But now we're going to go with 4 on the inside. So 4x squared on the inside. As we mentioned, we already did half of the work over here. Because -2 squared would be 4, and then if we multiply that by 4, that would be 16. And 1 times 4 would be 4. 0 pretty much always stays 0. And again, 4 and 16. So we come up here. Of course, our 2 and then our 16, we can't really see that. So it's out of the screen. I'm going to go ahead and change the color. Go with green. So our -2 and 16 is out of the screen, so we can't really see that. But let's say we're going to do -1 and 4 is right here. And then 0 and 0. 1 and 4, and then 2 and 16 is out of the screen. But that's good enough. You can see it got skinnier than the other graphs. So again, that's all we're really doing. If we go with 1/4 x squared on the inside of the parentheses, then all we have to do is take 4 and multiply that by 1/4. So that would be equal to 1. And 1 times 1/4 would be 1/4. 0, and then 1/4, and 1. So coming over on this side, change the color again. I'm going to go with red. So -2 and 1. -1 and 1/4, a little bit lower. 0 and 0. 1 and 1/4. And 2 and 1. So our graph looks like this.